Today we're going to paint something differently. We're going to paint something in the style of the Sin City comic books, I think. I kind of want to do that for World Eater's Army. I already have half a World Eater's Army in that style. So I'm going to continue in that style. This time I'm just going to show you how I do it. Kind of rapidly, I hope. So, we are going to use 5 tools, 6 tools, 7 tools-ish, and a cup of water, and a piece of paper. So a palette, a wet palette. None of those are particularly necessary. They're nice to have. Any old black paint. I'm using Vallejo 7950 black. It's a really good year. It's a fine black paint. I've got some heavy body Liquitex titanium white, and I've got some Blood for the Blood God technical paint. Yeah, we're basically going to paint black and white, quite literally. No grayscale, black and white, and then some red, just because it's Warhammer. It's 40k. Let's use some blood. We're also going to use 2 brushes. I'm going to use this completely random brush, which is just a cheap synthetic brush which I've used for blood before, and it is really battered. It's kind of bad. And then you're going to use my favorite size 2 brush, and that's it. That is all I'm going to need. Now, I already have some white and some black on my palette, along with some other colors. They're all out of focus, but you're going to have to survive. Now, take your model, prime it black, and what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our white paint, and we are going to keep the model at a certain angle, imagining light from one specific direction. I'm imagining from up here, and then we're just going to paint it on where the light would hit. And we'll just continue, get some new paint, cover it up, and continue painting and painting and painting and painting, adding more and more layers. Now this is going to get pretty boring to watch quite quickly, so I've cheated. As any good cooking show, I've prepared from home. You will then have something like this at one point, which is black and white with a fixed light direction. Now it won't, you can continue painting more and more layers of white, getting closer and closer to an opaque layer of white. I'm too impatient for that. It's going to be on the tabletop, and when we add the blood to it, it's going to be basically unnoticeable if it is completely white. So if you get close to this, there is some black. See, you can see some black through it. It's actually gray on top of black, but it's going to do for our purpose. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take some more of your white paint, load it up, and then you're just in the direction of the light. You are going to just stroke the base, like basically dry brushing the base, some more paint, just catching all the raised bits. For me, I've just used some texture paste on the base as my basing material, and that's going to complete the base. Now the next thing you want to do is get some more paint on your brush, still keeping with the white theme, and now you're going to do some edge highlighting. So on the completely black bits, you're just going to edge highlight everything. And with everything, I do mean everything. Everything should be edge highlighted. So this is a step that takes some time. It is very easy once you get the hang of it, but it does take time. The rest of the paint job has taken like, I don't know, 7 minutes or something. So you're going to do fine with 10 minutes of edge highlighting. When you're done your edge highlighting with white, wash your brush, clean it off well, dry it, and go to the black. I'm going to grab some black paint, and in completely the same method, the same idea, we're just going to edge highlight the white with black, just to show that we understand all the intricate bits of this model and to show off all the nice detail that's been sculpted in. Some models have more detail than others. These are Reavers things from Forge World. Personal opinion, yeah, I don't really love these models. They are not my favorite. I do have some of the Red Butchers as well, which are really nice models. And an Angron, which is a really nice model. So there are a lot of nice models out there. The some of the new guys, the Lord Invocatus and stuff, also looks pretty nice. Should be fun to edge highlight and do this on. Yeah, if it should fit the rest of my army. Whoop. And just continue doing this until you have everything edge highlighted. And once again, it takes some time. So I've done my homework. I have a model that is almost edge highlighted and edge blacked. Let's see. I think we need some here. This detail needs to be picked out better. These pouches needs a bit of showing off. The rest of this knee pad. These studs. And sort of just there. Now we have a model that has been edged highlighted and edged blackified. And now comes the blood stage. Clean off your brush, dry it off, and put it aside. Unless you want to use it for the blood, you're allowed to. Now, take your blood for the blood god and shake it up. Now pop it open. And get your crappy brush. I'm just going to put it on my wet palette for now, so you can see. We're going to take some of this paint, dab it on the palette, dab it into the bristles, and then we're just going to start on the axe. Now this guy is very stationary, very non-dynamic, but he will have used his axe and just in the direction of choppage, add some blood. Some might have splattered onto his shoulder pad, and as any good world eater, he's going to have some in his face. For some reason, this guy's going to have someone punched with a gun, kicked with his knee, and just a bit on his chest. And just keep going until you reach a level that is satisfying for your particular narrative, for the particular model. Now, this model, I would call it done there. You could make some that are a lot more gory, more like this, which has a lot more blood on it, or some that are less. This is one of my Red Butchers. Still a lot of blood on the actual axe, but the rest a bit less. Not so much on top, just a few splatters from the front. You could also have some that are really have really gone to town. And looking at this, I think I've overdone it a bit in this model, but yeah. So, to repeat and just shortly run through it again, we start by taking a black primed model and we're going to add some white. We're going to cover it in white, so it's going to be black and white. Then we are going to edge highlight it or edge blackify it so that we can see all the nice details of the sculpt and show that we've actually noticed that it's there. And then we're going to add blood in any random quantity that we feel like is the right amount. And that's it. Takes like, I don't know, 20 minutes to finish a model. It's a paint scheme you either you love it or you hate it. There might be some who think it's just meh, but I will tell you that it does draw a lot of attention when you're at at your local game store. It does draw a lot of attention because it is very, very striking and different, and it's kind of cool. So yeah, that's it for today. See you some other point. Have a good one. Bye.